There is a secret woven into the very fabric of the universe so strange, so unsettling, that even Einstein himself called it spooky action at a distance. Imagine two particles, born together, intertwined by some invisible thread. Now imagine separating them, placing one on the edge of the universe, and the other near your fingertip. If you change one, the other changes too instantly. No signal, no delay, just immediate, incomprehensible reaction. This isn't science fiction. It's quantum entanglement. And it doesn't follow the rules of space or time. It mocks the speed of light. It defies logic. And it may be the key to understanding something far bigger than particle physics. In the quantum world, distance becomes an illusion. Separation is meaningless. What happens to one happens to the other, as if space itself is just a shadow play, hiding a deeper layer of reality. Physicists have observed this with photons, electrons, and even entire atoms. Alter the spin of one particle, and the twin responds, no matter how far apart. And this effect is instant, faster than anything we can currently explain. It suggests a connection that exists beyond dimensions, beyond measurement. A code written into the energy field of the universe itself. But what is that code really for? This discovery sent shockwaves through the world of science. It shattered assumptions about locality and causality. If particles can communicate across galaxies with no known medium, then what else might be entangled? What other invisible threads connect the universe in ways we can't yet see? These aren't just theoretical questions. They're the kinds of questions that pull at the edge of reality, that make you sit up at night and wonder what we are truly made of. Because if matter behaves this way on a quantum level, maybe everything does. Maybe you do. And here is where the mystery deepens. For centuries, ancient spiritual traditions have spoken of oneness, that all things are connected, that thought, emotion, and spirit ripple outward and return. At the time, science dismissed these ideas as poetry, metaphors for an inner world. But quantum entanglement is forcing us to reconsider. It shows us that the building blocks of matter are not isolated. They respond to each other with a precision that no machine could orchestrate. Some scientists are beginning to whisper what mystics have chanted for ages, perhaps consciousness, too, is part of this dance. But we won't go there, not yet. So let us leave you with this unsettling question. What if this strange, invisible web isn't limited to particles? What if it extends to thoughts, to choices, to destiny? What if you are already entangled, not just with others, but with a force beyond comprehension? A design that reacts to your inner world. What if your life is not random, but responsive? The question is not whether quantum entanglement exists. We know it does. The question is, what does it mean for you? And what if this isn't just science, but a forgotten truth about your own power? What if your thoughts weren't just reactions to the world, but signals sent into a hidden structure connecting all things? Imagine, just for a moment, that your mind is not isolated inside your skull, but entangled in a vast, invisible network that responds to your internal state. Quantum entanglement may have started with particles in a lab, but its implications ripple far beyond subatomic boundaries. Some of the brightest minds in physics are beginning to entertain what mystics have claimed for centuries, that consciousness might be woven into the very structure of the universe. For thousands of years, spiritual traditions across cultures have spoken of an unseen field. The Hindus called it the Akasha. The Taoists saw it as the Tao. Indigenous shamans speak of the web of life. And now, modern science speaks of the quantum field, a realm of pure potential, where all possibilities exist simultaneously. In this space, particles don't exist as fixed points, but as waves of probability, collapsing into reality only when observed. This strange behavior led many to question if observation affects matter. Then who or what is the observer? Is it merely the eye of a scientist? Or is it consciousness itself? This is where the walls between science and spirituality begin to dissolve. Studies in quantum biology suggest that living organisms may utilize quantum processes. Birds navigating the Earth's magnetic field, photosynthesis in plants, even the workings of your brain all may involve quantum effects. Your thoughts, your emotions, your attention, they might not be trapped within you. They might radiate, ripple, and interact with the very field that binds the universe together. And if that's true, then your mind isn't just in your head, it's everywhere. Ancient teachings describe this as the mirror principle as within, so without. What you carry inside reflects outward. But now, quantum theory gives us a new lens to see this. Your internal state, your beliefs, your emotional frequencies, your silent intentions, might be encoded as energetic information. This information could interact with the quantum field like a tuning fork in a symphony. And just as entangled particles influence one another across space, perhaps your consciousness influences patterns in your life. Coincidences, alignments, synchronicities, are they accidents? Or are they feedback from the field? But here's where it gets even stranger. Some researchers propose that the brain is not a container of consciousness, but a receiver. That your thoughts are not generated in isolation, but tuned in, like frequencies on a radio. And your subconscious mind, the part you're barely aware of, may be broadcasting constantly. Not just influencing your experience, but connecting to something bigger than you. Something intelligent, something responsive. So now the question becomes, if your mind is broadcasting into this quantum field, what signal are you sending? You wake up each morning believing you're in control, that your decisions, your reactions, your life trajectory are the result of conscious thought. But what if that's an illusion? What if there's a deeper part of you, silent, hidden, powerful, that's shaping your reality moment by moment without you even realizing it? The subconscious mind, it doesn't speak in words. It speaks in patterns, in frequencies, in emotional energy, and like a radio tower, it's constantly transmitting into the quantum field. The signal it emits becomes the structure of your reality. So the question isn't whether you're broadcasting, but what you're broadcasting. Studies show that over 90% of our daily behavior is governed by the subconscious. It's not the conscious mind making the decisions, it's the internal code running beneath awareness. These codes are made of emotional imprints, beliefs, and past experiences stored since early childhood. But they don't just stay inside you, they radiate outward as vibrational signals. If you hold unconscious beliefs of unworthiness, the field reflects that in your relationships, finances, and opportunities. If you carry the energy of fear, you may unconsciously attract situations that reinforce it. This isn't punishment, it's resonance. The subconscious doesn't understand logic. It understands feeling. That's why affirmations alone often fail. You can say, abundant 1,000 times, but if your subconscious is still carrying the emotional frequency of scarcity, your energetic output will reflect lack. It's not about what you say, it's about what you broadcast. That's why understanding the subconscious as an antenna is so vital. It responds to repetition, to emotional reinforcement, to states of coherence. And when those align, something extraordinary happens. The field begins to mirror back a new signal. Reality begins to shift. Think of this like tuning a radio. If your subconscious is tuned to the frequency of doubt, you'll hear static and misalignment. But shift the frequency even slightly and everything changes. The signal becomes clear. You meet people aligned with your new vibration. Opportunities appear. Synchronicities increase. You're no longer forcing life, you're flowing with it. But that shift doesn't come from the surface. It comes from reprogramming the broadcast. And most people don't even realize they're transmitting old, outdated frequencies 24 hours a day. So here's the unsettling truth. Your subconscious is not neutral. It's active, it's electric, it's magnetic, and it's always on. It's not waiting for your permission to shape your life, it's already doing it. The question is, do you know what it's sending? Have you ever taken a moment to feel the signal you're radiating? If your external world is chaotic, constricted, or repetitive, it's likely reflecting your internal broadcast. And if that's true, another question arises, a powerful one: can you change the frequency? And if you could, how would your life transform? Before you learned your name, before you knew how to count or speak or even walk, you were already absorbing everything: sounds, emotions, energy. You were a sponge, soaking in not just words, but frequencies. In those early years, your brain operated mostly in theta waves, a state of deep suggestibility, similar to hypnosis. And in that state, you downloaded programs, beliefs, emotional associations, patterns. You didn't choose them. They were given to you, imprinted, and today, those very patterns may still be running beneath the surface, shaping every decision, every relationship, every result. Your subconscious doesn't forget. It records everything, especially the things charged with emotion. Maybe you were told money doesn't grow on trees. Maybe you watched your parents struggle, argue, disconnect. Maybe you learned that love must be earned, that you must be perfect to be accepted, or that expressing emotion is dangerous. These are not memories, they are blueprints. And once installed, they become self-reinforcing. You see life through their lens. You attract people and events that validate them. You react based on their logic, often without knowing why. This is the quiet code of the subconscious, unseen, unspoken, unquestioned. And because these programs were installed in childhood, they operate with the authority of truth. The child doesn't question the adult's reality. It accepts it as law. If you were made to feel small, unsafe, or unworthy during those early years, your subconscious likely encoded those impressions as default settings. And as you grew, your conscious mind layered on knowledge, experience, even ambition, but underneath, the core signal stayed the same. That's why so many people find themselves stuck in loops, wanting change, even working for it, but never fully breaking free. The original program is still running, but here's the most critical part: these programs are not you. They are not your essence. They are overlays, protective scripts, emotional algorithms written by people who were also programmed. And because they were installed through repetition and emotion, they can also be rewritten the same way. But before we talk about reprogramming, we need to see the full picture. We must acknowledge the power these unconscious beliefs hold. Because the subconscious doesn't care what you want consciously. It only responds to what it believes is true. And right now, it may still believe you're not safe to expand, to trust, to receive. So ask yourself this: if your life were a mirror of your childhood programming, what would it be reflecting back to you? Are the themes in your adult life echoing patterns from long ago? The people you attract, the emotions you repeat, the limits you feel, are they new? Or are they recycled? Recognizing these old scripts is the first step toward liberation. But the next question is the most important: if these programs were installed without your permission, how do you reclaim control and write new ones? If your subconscious is like a radio tower constantly broadcasting your inner beliefs into the quantum field, then the key to transformation is clear: you must change the signal. But how? How do you rewrite the deep, emotional codes etched into your mind since childhood? The answer lies not in logic, but in frequency, in emotion, in repetition. The subconscious is not moved by reason, it responds to what is felt, experienced, and repeated. And that's where reprogramming begins, not with thought, but with state. To access your subconscious, you must first shift your brainwaves into the theta range, the same range where your earliest programming occurred. This is why meditation is one of the most powerful tools for inner transformation. When done correctly, it guides you into a theta state, a twilight zone between waking and sleeping, where the veil between the conscious and subconscious becomes thin. In this space, your inner voice is quieted, and your subconscious becomes receptive, but meditation alone is only a doorway. What you do inside that space matters. This is where visualization enters. When you see a new reality in your mind's eye with emotion, with clarity, with repetition, begin to overwrite the old code. The subconscious doesn't distinguish between real and vividly imagined. It responds to emotional intensity. So imagine this: instead of saying I am abundant while feeling fear, you visualize yourself living in that abundance, feeling gratitude, safety, joy. You hold that vision daily, letting it soak into your emotional body. And little by little, the subconscious begins to believe it. Why? Because you're feeding it the one thing it cannot resist: repetition with emotion. Just like the old programs were installed in childhood through repeated emotional events, your new programs are installed the same way. This is not magic. It's neural conditioning. It's vibrational reinforcement. But here's where most people fail: they don't feel it. They say it, but they don't embody it. They repeat affirmations while still tuned into fear or doubt. And the subconscious only listens to the dominant frequency. That's why coherence is essential. Coherence means your thoughts, emotions, and energy are aligned. It means that what you desire consciously is no longer in conflict with what you feel subconsciously. And when you enter that state of alignment, your broadcast changes. And when the broadcast changes, the field responds. The quantum field does not respond to words. It responds to vibrations. And your vibration is not defined by your surface thoughts, but by your dominant emotional state. That's why intentional practice matters. Daily rituals, emotional rehearsals, inner alignment. You are not just reprogramming your mind, you are training your energy field to speak a new language. One of worthiness, one of abundance, one of calm certainty. But here's the test: once that new signal is emitted, will the universe respond with ease or with resistance? And when that resistance shows up, will you hold the new frequency or collapse back into the old? You've changed the signal. You've meditated, visualized, and begun to feel a new reality within. You've felt the shift in your energy field, a quiet certainty, a rising clarity. But then something strange happens. Life pushes back. You lose a job opportunity. An old fear resurfaces. A relationship becomes tense. And suddenly, you wonder, did it even work? But here's the truth most people miss: the universe doesn't test your alignment to punish you. It tests to confirm it. When you begin to broadcast a new frequency, the field responds not with ease, but with verification. Are you really different, or are you rehearsing? The quantum field is responsive, yes, but it's also precise. It will reflect what you are, not what you pretend to be. So when a challenge arises, it's not a setback, it's a scan. It's the mirror asking, do you still believe in scarcity? Do you still fear abandonment? Do you still doubt your worth? The test comes not to break you, but to measure the coherence of your new vibration. If you react from the old self, the old signal returns. But if you respond from the new alignment with calm, trust, and emotional mastery, you reinforce the new pattern. You confirm the reprogramming. This is why so many people experience what feels like a spiritual relapse right after a breakthrough. They begin to shift internally, and then external life seems to fall apart. But that disintegration is not failure, it's refinement. Like gold being purified by fire, your new frequency is tested under pressure. And in that moment, you have a choice: collapse into the old program or embody the new one. The choice isn't easy. The mind will panic. The body will remember the old fear. But if you remain emotionally coherent, if you hold the vibration of abundance, safety, love, then the universe adjusts. It aligns. This is not about being perfect. It's about being consistent. Your life begins to change, not when you avoid challenge, but when your response to challenge becomes different. You stop seeing tests as threats and start seeing them as confirmations. Each one is an opportunity to anchor the new frequency deeper, to prove that it's not just an idea, it's your new baseline. The universe is not judging you. It's listening to your vibration. And the question it always asks is simple: is this signal real? So next time things fall apart, after a moment of clarity. Don't run. Don't doubt. Breathe. Remember, you are not being punished, you are being aligned. And every time you pass one of these unseen tests with faith and presence, the quantum field shifts to match you. It rearranges. It recalibrates. Reality begins to echo your new inner state. And soon, what once felt like resistance becomes recognition. The field isn't blocking you. It's validating you. But before the transformation completes, there is one more paradox to embrace, and it may be the hardest of all. You've done everything right. You've reprogrammed your frequency. You've held alignment through tests. You've begun to feel the field respond. But then you hit the final threshold, the hardest lesson of all. You must let go. Not as in giving up, not as in detachment from desire itself, but in the most paradoxical way. You must feel the desire as already fulfilled, and then release the need to chase it. This is surrender. And it is the ultimate test of vibrational mastery, because while thought creates intention and emotion fuels frequency, it is certainty without tension that seals manifestation into form. This is where most people falter. They visualize, they affirm, they meditate. But inside, they're still gripping, still checking, still wondering, when will it come? That vibration of urgency, of need, is not coherent with the signal of fulfillment. The quantum field doesn't respond to what you want, it responds to what you are. And when you act, feel, and live as if the desire is already real with gratitude, presence, and emotional completion, you signal to the field it is done. That signal creates alignment. But here's the paradox, that alignment only holds when you no longer obsess over the result. Think of it like planting a seed. You don't dig it up every morning to check if it's growing. You water it, you trust the soil. You align your actions with its growth, and eventually, it sprouts. Manifestation works the same way. The seed is your desire. The soil is your subconscious. The water is your daily emotion. But the light, the force that activates life, is surrender. True surrender is not apathy, it's trust. It's the inner knowing that your signal has been received, and that the field is rearranging to reflect it in the right time, the right way. This level of detachment requires inner maturity. It asks you to feel whole now, not later. To feel love before the relationship arrives. To feel wealth before the money lands. To feel free before the door opens. And as counterintuitive as it may seem, this is the precise vibration that makes the shift real. Because in that state, you are no longer chasing, you are magnetizing. You are no longer pleading, you are commanding. The field does not deliver based on desperation. It delivers based on coherence. And coherence peaks when you release all internal resistance. So ask yourself now, can you hold the frequency and release the grip? Can you walk in full faith without watching the clock? Because the moment you do, something subtle but profound happens. Reality begins to accelerate toward you. The mirror clears, the response crystallizes, and you realize you are never separate from the field. You are the field. You are never trying to manifest something out there, you are only aligning with what already exists. And now that you understand this paradox, one final revelation remains. Everything has led to this, the science, the mysticism, the reprogramming, the surrender, they all converge into a single revelation. You are not separate from the universe. You never were. The illusion of separation was part of the old program. The truth is, you are not a passive observer in this quantum web. You are a node of consciousness, a sculptor of vibration, a projector of reality. The field does not simply respond to you. It is you. Every emotion, every belief, every thought you hold is not just influencing your life, it is weaving the very fabric of your reality. You are not waiting for creation. You are it. Think of reality like a mirror. It doesn't show you what you want. It shows you what you are. Not what you pretend to be. Not what you momentarily feel, but your dominant vibration. That's why efforting, forcing, obsessing never works, because the mirror cannot reflect a lie, But when you shift your inner state truly, deeply, consistently, the reflection must change. The field has no choice. It is law. This is the deeper meaning of the law of attraction, wishful thinking, not fantasy, but energetic alignment. Your outer world is not a fixed stage. It's a holographic echo of your internal broadcast. And so, the journey of transformation is not about adding more. It's about remembering who you were before the conditioning, before the fear, before the programs. The truth is, you have always had the power. The same way entangled particles move in harmony across space, your thoughts and emotions ripple into the field and return in form. Not metaphorically, but energetically, vibrationally, measurably. This is not just mysticism, it is quantum mechanics applied to consciousness, and it means that your responsibility is not to manipulate reality, but to become the version of yourself who naturally experiences the life you seek. So the final question isn't, will the universe give me what I want? The real question is, who must I become for this reality to emerge naturally around me? This is the shift from seeking to embodying, from longing to aligning, from hoping to being. You are not separate from the source. You are an expression of it, a localized field of infinite intelligence, encoded with the ability to dream, to feel, to choose. And when you choose from alignment, the quantum field rearranges itself without resistance. That's not magic. That's coherence. So take this in, you are not a mistake. You are not broken. You are not here to suffer, strive, or survive. You are here to remember, to reawaken, to reclaim. And now that you know how the signal works, how reality mirrors consciousness, how surrender unlocks power, how the field responds to feeling, you are no longer at the mercy of chance. You are the creator, the observer and the observed, the wave and the particle. You are not asking life for permission anymore. You are sculpting it. And the only question left is, what reality will you create next? You've made it to the end of a journey few are ready to take. If you're still watching, it means something in you has awakened. A remembrance, a spark, a knowing that there's more to reality than what we've been told. And now, you hold a new lens, a new vibration through which to see your life. You are no longer just reacting to the world, you are broadcasting to it. And what you choose to emit from this moment on will shape what flows back to you. The mirror is waiting. If this message resonated with you, if something clicked, stirred, or shifted, then this space is for you. You're not alone in this awakening. Thousands of others are decoding the same signals, asking the same questions, feeling the same pull. So we invite you to share your voice. Have you ever felt like your thoughts or emotions directly shaped your reality? Share your story in the comments below. Your experience might be the exact key someone else needs to unlock their own journey. This channel exists for seekers like you, people drawn to explore the unseen forces shaping our lives. Here, we dive into the intersections of science, spirituality, transformation, and mystery. So if this content expanded your perception, consider joining this evolving community. Subscribe and turn on notifications, because the next revelation will take us even deeper. We're just scratching the surface of what's possible. The more we explore these truths together, the more coherence we create in the collective field. So let's build that field, one insight, one comment, one shared vibration at a time. Your presence here matters. Your energy shapes this space. And together, we create a ripple effect that goes far beyond this screen. This isn't just a video. It's a signal, a seed, a doorway. So ask yourself one last question. What reality do you want to sculpt now that you know the code? And when you're ready, let it begin.